Hey YouTube, as I said in my last guide, which was my Fire Mage guide, I believe, yeah, that I would do a guide on Arcane. Well, here it is. um, well, first of all, I will say I don't use Arcane that much. I'm not spec to Arcane, I'm not geared to Arcane. Yeah, well, obviously I'm spec to Arcane, but I'm not geared in any way, and I've just chucked it together to make this video. I hardly ever use Arcane. I find in this patch Arcane isn't that good. I find that Fire is currently putting out the most DPS next to Frost. Um, uh, so yeah, sorry, let's get rid of this and let's start a new one. Right, first of all, let's go through gloves, I think. Right, okay. Let's go through talents. This is what I've got for my talents. For my Arcane, it's very, very similar to the ones I used in my Fire. Well, exactly the same. Alright. This is basically due to, I think Scorch again is the best one to use, even for Arcane, even though obviously it's a main Fire spec. For the same reasons the Fire, I went with Ice Barrier. It gives you that little bit more defense against when you find stuff. It's really, really, really handy in raiding, because when a raid bounce you, if people start dying and they start focusing on you, then it gives you a little bit more defense than other people, and it lasts for a minute. So I love that, I pick it all the time. Again, Ring of Frost, because of I find that Frost Jar isn't that good, if you want to put it that way, for anything. It's one target, it lasts for 8 seconds, and it's a 28-second cooldown on it. You're gonna want this. It's a 30-second cooldown, but it's 10 yards and it sticks for 10 seconds on any of those characters in that area where you put it down. This one right here, again, I picked it because if you use an Arcane while raiding, and if one of their NPCs finally gets a final hit on you that's going to kill you, then you're going to have a chance to live again, and then it will burn your health 40% of what half your health was. I think I'm quite lucky in this because of all my experience of using it. It doesn't actually burn me down, just sticks me on 50%. So I've always been pretty happy about that. It's definitely a must-have in my opinion. The ones that go with it, greater invisibility, I don't think, well, unless you want, a mob loser, well, greater invisibility is alright, but I don't find it that great. And Cold Snap, and some people use it, more for PvP in my opinion, but yeah, for PvE spec, which is where I believe Arcane is, well, you're just going to want to go with this. Live and Bomb, right, here we go. Alright, Live and Bomb is one of the most important DPS things for anything for Fire or Arcane. There is Nether Tempest. Personally, I don't believe this is as good as Live and Bomb, and I know a lot of other people agree with me. Nether Tempest, it actually, it's just an AoE, there's no explosion at the end, which is where Live and Bomb gets most of the DPS from. It burns them, you have a glyph that spreads the target, and when it explodes, you've got the 42 to 50k crits on all targets. So yeah, and it will burst on those 3 targets it puts onto, because what it actually does, you put Live and Bomb on one target and it spreads to the 2 targets nearest to it. But when Live and Bomb gives off, it hits the same crit, depending on how close the other NPC is to you. But when it explodes, if they're all in a tight area of like 5 yards in a box, then you're gonna hit 42k on every single mob in that area. So it's massive advantage for DPS. Like I did the LFR raid yesterday, and I came out in top DPS. Just no one could beat my DPS because there were so many trash mobs. My Live and Bomb was exploding on, they just couldn't beat it. And finally, this is a must-have for Arcane. You must have this. If you don't have this, you're not going to do any DPS whatsoever, because you're just going to have fast burst DPS, and that's it, because your mana's going to drop. This is a must-have for both Fire and Arcane. You're going to need it. You're not going to PvP with Arcane, so you're going to need this. Yeah, it stops you from running around. you gotta stay on just one target on the floor, but you can put another one down somewhere if you really want it. Obviously it's a 6-second cooldown on it, but you can have 2 up at any time you want, so you can just run between them if you need to. But so what I normally do is, if I know I have to move for a boss, then I'll put 2 down where 1 I know I have to go. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go to glyphs. Right, as you'll see, they're very, very similar to my fire. Obviously you're gonna need your fire blast. This is a must. You're gonna need this because this is what spreads your living bomb and gives you mostly DPS. It's about, on Draenor, it was about 110 gold to buy. It's really cheap. You're not gonna cost you a bag. It's a must. And then we got Glyph of Arcane Explosion. Again, I found this alright. I just found it more of the filler because I didn't really know what else to put in it, and I just basically put that. I see it as a small advantage, but not a massive. And Glyph of Mana Gem, it gives you another chance to create a brilliant gem, which can hold to 10 charges. So that's another really, really good advantage for an arcane mage. Alright, let's go to the miners again. These are mostly cosmetic. You get your Glyph of Mirror Image. You need this because your Mirror Image is just going to use the lowest spells you can do and not actually create that much damage when you burst this. There's no point in using it unless you get this, which actually this gives you your most well, I would say your normal class spell, and like for Fireball or for Arcane, that's Arcane Blast. So that's another really, really good glyph to have. Again, as I said in my last guide, Glyph of Rapid Teleportation and Glyph of Arcane Knowledge, they're just fillers. They don't really do anything good. All the Rapid Teleportation does is increase your speed for a minute by 70% as soon as you come out of a portal, and this just allows you to speak your ally's language for an hour. It happens every time you do your main buff, it comes on. Other than that, it's not really used to. It's not really used for much. Right, okay, let's get down to the actual DPS rotation. Alright, first of all, before you do anything, you're gonna need this down, otherwise your mana is just gonna fall. But what they've done with Arcane Mages since Cataclysm in the new patch, they've actually given you Arcane Charges, and this determines on the amount of damage your Arcane Missiles will do. Right, so first of all, before you do anything, you want to put a Living Bomb on the target, and then you're going to want to spread this Living Bomb, and then you're going to want to use your Arcane Blast to get up at least between 4 to 5 charges. So we do that, then we're going to spread the Living Bomb, and we're going to use your Arcane Missiles. You're going to chuck some down, and then we're going to spread, get that on again, and then Arcane Blast again. Every now and again, you're going to want to actually use your Arcane Barrage. Let's just go to 6 to show you the difference in what the missiles give you in damage. So see, look at the 16k hits constantly, right? I find at the end of every rotation of that rotation, I like to do an Arcane Barrage. I see how my Living Bombs drop. I'm sorry, my Rune of Power is gone. Chuck your Living Bomb back on. Without that Rune of Power up, your DPS is just gonna drop because of your mana. It's gone. The Arcane, I find at the moment, are terrible for keeping DPS. Right, here we go. See? Arcane Blast. Spread the Living Bomb. Arcane Missiles. And keep repeating this rotation. There's nothing else you can do to this rotation. This is basically the rotation of an Arcane, as I find the best rotation is. As you can see from this, the DPS is so much better for Fire Mage if you compare it to my other guide. But, I guess it's preference. Obviously, this is again me not using my cooldowns. This is cooldowns always have a massive effect on the amount of DPS you do, because you got things that give you more haste. You've got this here, which gives you 10% mana roll cast and 20% more spell damage. It's all things like this. Yeah, guys, this is basically the whole rotation. Again, I'm sorry the guide isn't as good as the Fire Mage. I don't play this class that much, so I can't really give you a detailed guide to someone who plays Arcane all the time. But yeah, you know, this is what I do. I find it works good. Obviously, there's only so much you can do when it comes to your mana, and I find that this is the best way to control it, you know. But yeah, this is basically it. You know, we were averaging about 44k, which is not too bad, you know. But yeah, if you keep on doing this rotation, you should average about this in dungeons. Obviously, you'll do a lot more because this is just against 3 targets. But yeah, I hope this guide helped you guys. Again, I want to stress that I'm not going to be the best person on this because I don't use Arcane that much. I used to use it before, but I find that Fire Mage is so much easier at the moment. So if you guys can comment below to say how I can improve this guide and how I can improve my DPS as Arcane, I will create another video using those things, all of the elements together. I'll try and use them myself to learn how to use them, how to max my DPS. If I can raise it higher than Fire, then I will consider using Arcane as my main spec. Yeah, thanks guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If it helped you in any way, please like the video as well. If you want to see more videos like this, please sub to us. If you want to see any type of videos, more of them, inbox the channel and one of us will come back to you. Thanks for watching guys. I've been Zarís from Open Fracture. Again, I hope you liked the video and I hope this helped you. Thanks guys.